Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú cómo has estado?
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just pretty concerned right now. Like, I recently came across this like research that was done on Latinx youth in New Mexico.
So what's the study about?
It's about youth suicide and the risk, as well as like the factors that contribute to it.
So can you tell me more about the study?
Yeah, let me actually pull it up real quick. The study is about the relationship between Latinx ethnicity and sadness and the suicide attempts influenced by sex, sexual orientation, as well as like where you were born, and also things simple like being offered drugs on school campus and being bullied at school.
Whoa, that's a lot of information to take in, and I see why this is like really concerning because it's heavy, right? It's a heavy conversation, and as us being part of this community, as me being a first generation student, family who has immigrated here, being the oldest, there's a lot of challenges that need to be dealt with and a lot of struggles and barriers. And so how do you feel about this right now?
I think like we kind of all know that this is happening, but
Yeah.
it's when you see like statistics or like numbers, it's a hard pill to swallow that a lot of our youth are suffering from sadness and suicide, and that we're not talking about it at all. You know, I'm very surprised by like Latinx women being like the most bullied, just because I feel like there's a lot of factors that go within it, like expectations from our families as women.
Exactly.
A lot of the machismo that is associated in our families and stuff like that, I feel like that causes a lot of shame for women. I think we should be really concerned about this. It's something that our parents should be really thinking about, like why is it that my kid's acting this certain way? Just sit down your kid and just like simply asking them, hey mijo, ¿estás bien? O ¿qué necesitas? I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to these issues such as sadness and suicide.
Yeah, because there's so much layers that need to be dealt with personally and as a community and in our family. And so now that I guess we're talking about this, how's your mental health? How are you doing?
I feel like I'm in a journey of like trying to help myself out with my mental health. Just letting people know around me what I'm struggling with my mental health. I think that's where I'm at right now. The biggest place is just if I'm feeling anxious, just letting people know like, hey, I'm feeling anxious right now. I really can't have this conversation, and just speaking up for myself. What about you?
I feel what you're saying, like being vulnerable with people and like especially my family, bringing like a lot of self-awareness to myself and to like my family members, and because this is not a journey that I'm going through myself, and just figuring out like the best way that I can help myself and heal. My healing is something that can be spread around. So this is like information that we should all be informed of and bring awareness to. So is there other information in the study that can help with this problem?
Yeah, I actually have some options. Let me read what you pulled up over here from the research. So option 1 is really important for our immigrant communities, and that's just the simple need of like us deconstructing a lot of the structural racism that exists that leads to a lot of these like sadness and suicidal attempts that we have going on. Option 2 is also about increasing the mental health awareness among Latinx community, and this is through the usage of like community organizations or just like having more presence on like social media, where a lot of our youth are like driven more towards, where it talks about mental health. There's also option 3. This is really big, like us as immigrant women. This is really important for us, is to find a therapist or someone that we can talk to, where they're gonna get where we're coming from of not only just being immigrants but being brown immigrant women, as well as like women who have a hard relationship with their families.
And I feel from like all these options how this is a very personal, the status as having DACA and like increasing awareness is super important. And I think as someone who's been on the journey to figuring out looking for therapists, it's really hard. Having a therapist that understands is so important, because I've had therapists who have their heart in the right place, but it's just that connection isn't there. And it's really disheartening to know that this is happening to our community, and especially to people so young as ourselves and even younger. And so what do you think that makes Latinx community resilient?
I feel like specifically with our youth, what makes them resilient is that they're having these tough conversations that we weren't able to have before. I feel like we're breaking a lot of barriers that our parents unfortunately didn't have the luxury or the privilege to even break themselves. We're really going more to the root cause of a lot of the mental health issues that we are experiencing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we empower each other. Thank you so much for sharing this information and like being vulnerable with me. It really means a lot, and it makes a great change, even just us two talking about this.
Yeah, thank you, I mean.
Thank you.